people's inspiration. And so my novel was The Vanishing Point, and it's a really complicated novel, so I figure I should just go ahead and explain a little bit so we can actually understand it. So the story starts out with Stephanie, who is a ghostwriter, so she's pretty much writing the autobiography. I know it doesn't make sense, but she's a ghostwriter. So she's helping Scarlett write her autobiography, and Scarlett's kind of like the Kim Kardashian of England at the time. And so Scarlett is pregnant, and she's wanting to write her autobiography in terms of a novel, like a letter to her unborn son. So Stephanie's helping her write this letter, and they actually end up becoming like best friends. And then so once the baby's born, baby is Jimmy, Scarlett's baby, not Stephanie's. Jimmy kind of brings Stephanie and Scarlett a lot closer together, and Stephanie ends up being Jimmy's godmother. And then, so Scarlett ends up being diagnosed with cancer, and she, after quite a while, dies. So Stephanie takes care of Jimmy, and they are on vacation, Stephanie and Jimmy, and Jimmy gets kidnapped from the airport on their way back home. So the rest of the novel is Stephanie and her boyfriend Nick trying to find who took Jimmy. And at the end of the novel, we end up finding out that Scarlett is not really dead. She has faked her death from cancer, and has kidnapped her own son back from Stephanie. And at the end of the novel, Stephanie kills Scarlett to get back Jimmy.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Okay, do you understand the rest of the presentation or no? There had to be some sort of spoiler alert because
I gave a
otherwise
spoiler
you would
alert,
have no idea what I'm
but
talking
you weren't even
about.
supposed to give it.
So my main point with my presentation was going to be about trust. And Stephanie and Scarlett, Stephanie thought that Scarlett trusted her with her life, with everything. So Scarlett was Stephanie's best friend, and she thinks that they trust each other with everything. And then Stephanie finds out that instead of actually dying from something that people die from every day, so one, being incredibly insensitive, two, like, she was tired of being in the spotlight and being famous, so she slowly faked her death from cancer in order so that she wouldn't have to be famous anymore. So by doing this, she completely ruined Stephanie's trust in her. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be on this one. That was some background information. I already said that, sorry. Okay, so the important stuff was trust again. And I was saying that Stephanie has completely lost all trust in Scarlett, who she thought is her best friend, and at the end of the novel she finds out has completely ruined every single aspect of trust she had with this woman that she thought was like her sister. There's even points in the novel where they call each other sister, and they're like, I've never had any family but you, really. So to do that, and then Scarlett even says at the end, well, I couldn't tell you because I didn't know who else you would tell. So Scarlett's essentially saying that she never trusted Stephanie to begin with, and Stephanie's heartbroken by that, obviously. She killed Scarlett, so a little bit upset there.
Just a little upset.
And I think this is important. That's Jimmy on his way to being stolen. So I think that this is important to really talk about trust because obviously we all trust people, and so I think it's important that we know who we can really trust, even though sometimes it's hard to know who we can really trust. So there's people that we may think we trust, and then we find out and something happens that we realize we can't trust each other anymore. And that's a really hard thing to deal with. And one of my points is actually mainly saying you don't kill people that you don't trust anymore. That's a bad idea. But like, it's understandable to be angry at people you trust, but because having that trust is something that's so important. Like, trust is one of the basic human components that keeps us alive, because we're trusting our other people in our classroom or in work or on the road to drive safely or to not kill us in class. Like, we're trusting people with everything we do, so to have something like that just kind of like ripped away is really, really bad. Again, why it's important. It's important to trust people because otherwise you're an awkward person sitting isolated with no friends because you can't trust anyone with your information. And it's not even just like being with people. Like, you can have friends and not tell them absolutely anything, but how do you know that those friends are going to stick around if something bad happens to you. Like, you need to have an ability to put trust in people. And I think that this novel is important because it talks about the trust in people, but it also talks about how you can't trust everyone. So I think that's important for us to know, because sometimes we get a little too trustworthy. So I think it's important to know the limit. So that's mainly what I got from this novel. I also really don't think this should be required reading, because while the element of trust is a really big thing in the book, I don't think that it's big enough to put the entire book in the curriculum, because we deal with a lot of other stuff that deals with trust as well as other themes. But I kind of think that besides not killing people you're angry at, that was the only good theme in this book. So plus it's just really, it's a mystery novel, and that's exactly what it is, and I think that's it. So, yeah.
Fair enough.